Sarah Jacobson, Marketing Artfully. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to do the really nerdy analytics to figure out what you should write. And the reason I'm doing this is twofold. First, I just did a redesign of my website, and while I thought it was really super cute, I wanted to make sure that I hadn't ruined my life by making something that Google wouldn't rank. And drum roll, please. My views are actually going up. So that's wonderful. That's saying that the changes that I made and the things that I'm doing are actually working. Um, so that's super, super exciting. I had been a little bit funny about not minding her as much. As you can see, like for a week in September, it was 8,300. And now and let's not pick last week because that was, redonkulous, as you'll see later with Thanksgiving. But we're up to 3,300. So I've increased it at least 800 hits a week just on the worst week I had last month. So this is really going to be a focus. And so every year at this time of the year, I do a blog post a day for December. And I used to, before I had kids, I used to do every day, Saturday and Sunday included. I don't think that's going to work this year, but I'm going to be doing a blog post a day. And as often as I can, I'm going to be doing a video that goes with it because, of course, the video helps drive traffic to the blog post. And there's just a whole, maelstrom of goodness that happens. So anyways, today we're going to talk about how to figure out what to write about in your blog posts. And I've been blogging for a very long time, so some of the things I'm doing may work for you and they may not. If you're brand new starting today, this won't work. There's just nothing that you can do. You don't have access to somebody else's analytics to see what is going on. So then you're going to have to do it a little bit different way. But if you've been blogging for a little while, even for a year or so, you should have some data in your Google Analytics that will start to tell you what you're currently ranking well for and what some additional things could be. You're going to have to extrapolate, of course, but that having been said, you can really get some good data. So this is my Google Analytics report. So it's showing I had almost 20,000 visitors last month, 17,000 uniques. My goal for 2015, which is the year that's coming up, is for 50,000 a month. So that's a pretty aggressive goal. So I'm going to have to really work my butt off to make that happen. It's more than doubling what I'm getting. So that is just one of my main goals for next year. Okay, so let's look at what ranked this month. And this is what I'm saying. This was totally redonkulous. I had almost 3,000 hits for Thanks for Small Quotes Business. That's a huge number, okay, for one page on my site. Before, I think my previous 1 month record was 2,500, so almost 500 more than that. But that was really nice. I mean, and the cool thing is it was from last year. I did do one from this year, and you'd see later on. We'll talk about it a little bit. But so that was from last year. So some of marketing and some of your blog posts and some of writing, evergreen blog posts and all those types of things that we're going to be looking at are just belong to the fact that sometimes it just takes a while. So that was from last year. Last year I did not get 3,000 hits to it, but this year I did. So that's great. Email subject line, she does really good every month. Sometimes she has a couple thousand. She seems a little light this month. So maybe we ought to, promote her a little bit more, make sure she gets her love. The SEO keywords for realtors always does really well. And then I do really well for customer demographics. And so then this is a made page of my site. So about 1,000 people. Some Twitter. Okay, so what I did was I pulled all this data in because this data is awesome and I can look at the first 10 pages of my site and see what's going on, and I do that a lot. But where we really start to see some trends and see holes or what we could do is when we kind of pull the data apart. So what I did was I kind of tried to figure out my main keywords on the first 100 posts in my ranking. So I have a lot more posts than that, right? Obviously. I have, I don't know how many. Let's look. I have no, I don't think there's that. 479. So I have 479 different pages that actually rank, but I only looked at about the first 100. Um, so I just in the changeover decided that I'm going to be focusing on authors, speakers, and coaches. And so it sucks that I only have 69 hits last month from those. That tells me that some of these posts that I'm going to be writing this month need to be targeted to those groups, right? Because otherwise I'm not getting any traffic to them, which stinks. And they love this. So marketing for authors, speakers, and coaches, that is the first that's brand new. That's from right here, author, speakers, and coaches. And bouncing means that they came there and left there. So even though it was only 40 page views, like nobody left my site from there, which is astounding because usually my bounce rate is really high. So they're loving me, and they do love me, and I work with them a lot. I am an author, speaker, and coach. So that's why I kind of thought that I should go more in that direction. Let's look at a new one that's going to be interesting. One thing that really came to mind when I was looking at this is a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is actually copywriting. I haven't called it that. So 100 awesome sayings, 10 free great report titles, those are copywriting. And so I'm almost feeling like I need to break that out and maybe do a couple posts about copywriting, and then I would have a little cluster of things that I could have together. So that's kind of what you want to try to do. You want all the little boats to rise. These old posts will do better if I write some copywriting posts now. So that's something that I'm definitely going to be looking at doing in my, it's like 21 posts or 24 posts. So, and that doesn't mean if I don't get to them, I can't do them after the first of the year, right? Okay, customer demographics, I rank well for two of my top pages, 1,000. But that having been said, this is actually the best post on customer demographics I've ever written. So I have to take a peek and see what I can do to get her to rank better. Really, really good post. I mean, brilliant post. And I'm not just saying that because I wrote it. It's actually a really good post. So we're going to look at that. But I rank really well for customer demographics. I would say I need to write at least one post in there to keep my numbers up. MLM direct sales, I'm not going to write anything for that. I get very little traction. I have some other posts. Remember, we're just looking at the top 100 for my site. So that means that's not really showing up. And that's not the best thing that I know how to do. Disc personality is really interesting. I'm really fascinated by the disc. And it's a personality test where you find out if you're a driver or intuitive, things like that. So I could write something. It doesn't look like I'm setting the world on fire with it, though. That would be kind of lower down in my list of things that I would look at. Email newsletters is, yes, I have to. They have 2,000. And so without going through every single one of my things ad nauseum, this is one of the ones that I really, really wanted to show you guys. Because it makes you feel really dumb when you realize that there's something on your website that does really well, that you have a skill at doing, and that is relatively easy, and yet you just kind of ignore it. So quotes do really well for me. So, you know, I got 350 hits last month on work and Labor Day quotes. That's really good. And then Thanksgiving blew up, man. This was last year's with 3,000, and this was this year's with 129. Next year it'll do better. And I need to promote those for each one. But you'll notice that I don't have all the holidays. Like I don't have Christmas. I don't have love quotes, Valentine's Day, and things like that. So what comes to mind is, why not? You know, like seriously, if I can ride this wave of quotes for business throughout the year, why wouldn't I do that? I mean, that's just crazy not to do that. So look for things that, and I'm really good at making them. They're very pretty and they're nice, and you know, they're just nice. So I'm good at it. So that's something to think about. Okay, so then the next place I'm looking to find out stuff about my keywords and what I should maybe write about is the webmaster tools, but kind of Thanksgiving ruined that for me right this second. I could change the date range, but I'm just trying to get a feel. So first off, I need to look at these and know that it's quotes for clients because I got 700 clicks for that. Quotes for business, which is really good for me. I need to make sure I do that. Thanksgiving quotes for business, and business, business quotes. So those are all keywords that I'm going to want to really look at, making sure I have in my quotes page, because it's a miracle anything gets that I get any traffic at all for that quotes page, because quite frankly, it's not SEO'd very well. They're just amazing quotes. Um, so some things I can look at here. Examples of tweets. The tweets really, first tweet example, come to mind as saying, I just have a love affair going with Twitter. So I write all kinds of stuff about them. But it almost looks like they really want to know about specific tweets and what to do. So maybe I could do something with along the lines of the graphic things. I also owe my people on LinkedIn. I'm really trying to publish on LinkedIn more. It's sort of killing me because I get very little traffic compared to my website. But I promised them I would do a post for them on what kind of images look good. So maybe I could incorporate Twitter in that. And then the last thing I really want to show you guys is this, is when you're then looking at what you're ranking for, you also want to come over and see what it looks like. So remember the important customer demographics. Let's go back there. So this is going to be over here. Where are customer demographics? There they are. This is the best one. So I did a search for customer demographics on Google, which is the site that it comes up. And it's actually this one, the second one that comes up. And it does have a really good description. So that's going to make a huge difference. There's all kinds of different things we can look at. But one of the main things we want to do is, if we're lucky enough to get somebody to pull up our page and search, make sure that what they're seeing doesn't suck, right? That seems really important to me. So hopefully this will give you an idea of how you can find things to write about your blog. Like I said, it only works if you're an old blogger. If you're brand new, there's no way to find this data unless you can find one of your competitors who will let you look at it like I do. So anyways, hopefully that helps. Tara Jacobson, Marketing Artfully.